Good morning, good morning. It is 5:30, and of course, I'm waiting to go into work. Good morning, Elia. Good morning, Romani. Good morning, Uriana. And those are my niece and grandbaby. But anyway, I wanted to get up here this morning and talk about behind the scenes. Like a lot of pastors and leaders we think they just overnight became a success, but no, it is behind the scenes that you do your most work. That's where you do, for me, that's where you do your crying and you're reaching out and you're reading and figuring out this whole walk. You know what I'm saying? Like dying down to our flesh and um basically trying to get rid of the old you, the things that you were used to. So there's a difference between your spirit, your soul, and your flesh and all that. Um, your spirit, like Satan cannot touch your spirit. Your spirit is the dwelling place for God. You know what I mean? Like that is his dwelling place. So what Satan tries to do is corrupt our soul. So whether it's bad energy, demons, anything that's negative in that area, that is what Satan tries to control our bodies with. It's the soul. So once the soul really and truly gets delivered, that is when that thing that is trying to control you on the inside, even though you're trying to go this way, the right way with God, it is that soul that's keep pulling you, or your flesh that keeps pulling you towards going backwards. So here's the thing: whenever your soul is truly delivered, that is when whatever was trying to control you gets lined back up with God, gets lined up with the spirit. Because sometimes mind you, um God is in the present. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in the future. So I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. So our spirit already knows what it is supposed to do with God. You know what I mean? Like when the Bible said he formed us before, he knew us before we were in our mother's womb, or he set us apart. So at some point before we were in our mother's womb, our spirit was connected with God and already knew what you're going to be. You know what I mean? It is us. It is our soul that has to now catch up with what God is saying about our lives. It's kind of hard to explain, but for me, I'm gonna use me as an example. I know that there's something greater for me to do. I kind of know in what direction God is leading me, but I I constantly have to pray about my soul and helping it to line up with God's word as well as my mind, in order for me to use the powers that God gave me. Because I do get weary, I do get tired, and I try to do it in my own strength. We cannot do this in our own strength. We cannot. So you have to find a place where you just let go and let God. But at the same time, you have to give movement. And if you hear some of my videos from YouTube, I was slow to move. I was slow to move. So who I am now, has to catch up with what God is saying about me. So once I found that out, I changed my prayer. Because sometimes, not that is it, it's a certain way. People say it's a certain way you pray, and it could be, but for me, when I pray, whatever God has given me, and whatever, like for my soul, whatever I'm finding out about my soul, I'm now asking God, God, help my soul to line up with you. Help my soul to line up with your word, and keep transforming me, my mind, like, and as well as being in his word. So it's not that um you're not doing, you're not feeling anything and you're not growing. It's just sometimes your soul is immature. It's not ready for you to switch over to the spirit, if that makes sense. Like, you have to constantly stay in the word. You do. And you have to pay attention and stay ready at all times and know what Satan is trying to attack on you. You have to pay attention to your behaviors, to know exactly which way you're going. You cannot just live life without God or miss, like, even if you miss a day of reading, you should be living like God. This becomes a lifestyle. So behind the scene is when he cleans you up. That is when you're going to find out so much information about yourself. That is where you find out, like me, for the difference of the flesh and the soul and the spirit. I was constantly praying for my spirit, which I still do, but it's a different type of prayer. But I need for my soul to catch up to what God is saying in the spirit about me. I need to make sure that we're both there, because it's not until you get true delivered, like I said, when your soul lines up with what God says. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how, I mean, pastors probably can explain it better, but for me, I'm not that. So I'm just trying to give you guys an understanding, just in case you are back and forth like me and you're wondering, okay, why is it taking so long? Some things take longer than others, and mine is taking a long time. This is my race. I am in no competition for no one, and you shouldn't either, because when you allow God to clean you up, you want to be cleaned up for real and the right way. You don't want to be throwing false information out or nothing that you can really like back up. But for me, I read, I stay in my word, but at the same time, I have my own life experience. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can take that away from me. That is what God gave me. I have those experiences, and you hold on to your experience, and just know, like, start looking up what is the flesh, and researching it. What is the soul? Start researching it. How are you connected to God spiritually? You know what I'm saying? Like, start researching little questions that you may have to ask yourself. But the main thing here is Satan cannot dwell in your spirit. He cannot. He cannot corrupt that for you. He corrupts your soul. And that is when all the whole confusion come in, that because our spirit, our soul needs to get caught up to what God is saying about us. Our spirit needs to be able to reside where God is, especially when we're praying. And that's why it's vital to spend time with him, so you can learn that, and so that you can pray in the spirit. It is, it's different. We all think we don't know what's going on, or how to walk this walk, only because I don't have a mentor and I don't have somebody I can ask. I don't have somebody I can go to and ask. So that's why I have to do a lot of research, but it'd be easier if I did have somebody to ask. But that is the thing. Know the difference and allow God to clean your soul up so it can line up with his spirit. All right.